This will be a short video describing how to use verbatim to cut evidence or to produce research files for debate. You can use this with Microsoft Word. The way that you first access this is by going to paperlessdebate.com/verbatim. It will give you a free place to download it for either Windows or Mac. And from there, you should also download Site Creator, which in the future you will end up with little boxes like the one over here on the bottom right. And all of those are fantastic and really important parts if you're going to be cutting evidence for us. With that said, let me show you what it looks like in Microsoft Word whenever you do that, and then I'll show you how to actually cut a piece of evidence. If you go to Microsoft Word, this is the Mac version, and you'll notice a couple of key things. First of all, up here at the top, you have all of your basic function keys: paste, condense, pocket, hat, etc. And those are the pieces that help you organize the debate files so that they're easy to be able to transfer from one person to the other. This is honestly the system that most people use, so if you would like to be able to continue to use it, that is the best way to do it. You'll be able to, if you use a PC, just hit the function key. So for example, when you need to tag something, you'll just hit F7, or when you need to create a new hat for something, you can just hit F5. If you're using a Mac, you'll have to hit function key first and then the F key, but those things are relatively simple. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take you through looking at a page on Google News. I will help you find a piece of evidence that says, for example, the US economy is improving. Then we will take that piece of evidence, we will create it into a piece that is useful for debate, all the way down to highlighting it. Now the first thing that you'll want to do is you will want to go to a site like news.google.com. This is really useful for finding recent information, and so if I was going to look at US economy improving, I would just start looking for basic evidence that says that the US economy is up. Now there are a lot of different details that you can see here. From 3 days ago, there's an article that says that it grew at 3.2% in the first quarter, which is faster than they were expecting. There's other things in here that talk about how the weak U.S. inflation scrambled, debate on Fed's next rate moves, etc. But since we're looking for something that says the economy is improving, we're going to go for this top article from The Hill from 3 days ago. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at this before, so I have no idea what this article's actually going to say, but we'll be able to figure it out here pretty quickly. If you look at the first couple of paragraphs, it says the economic growth in the United States blew past expectations in the first quarter of 2019, easing fears of an impending slowdown that kicked off the year. And so as we kind of look in here, we also are finding some warrants about that, about how economists were expecting different things and how the second estimate for the first quarter will be released later. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight, actually I'm going to go down and highlight this part all the way up to the beginning. And I am going to take these paragraphs and I'm going to copy them by hitting Command C or Control C. And I'm going to take them over into the Word document and paste them by hitting Command V. Once they're there, I want to highlight all of them, and then I'm going to clear the formatting by hitting function 12, and I'm also going to condense it by hitting function 3. That will leave you with a nice singular paragraph that's really easy to cut into a piece of debate evidence. Next, I want to go back over here and get the actual site. There are two ways to do this. You can either highlight it with your mouse, or you can hit Control-Alt-C, and it will highlight it for you. Come over here and paste it. Now, a couple of things that you'll want to add to that. First of all, you want the last name, which is part of the site, and the date. We'll just use the year for this. It's also useful at the end to add the date that you accessed it. Today happens to be 4/29/19, so I'm going to add that in here as well. Now that I'm looking into the evidence, I'm going to start by underlining the important parts. Economic growth in the United States blew past expectations in the first quarter of 2019. The U.S. gross domestic product grew at an average rate of 3.2% in the first quarter. And also, we want to find some things here that talk about how The shaky financial markets, lagging retail signs, and weak job gains all improved over the course of the first 4 months, improving the economy as well as this was happening. Finally, I'm going to grab this last piece down here that talks about how, despite the economy starting off sluggishly, it's added jobs. Now that I've underlined the pieces of the evidence that I actually want to use, I'm going to click in the middle here somewhere where I haven't underlined anything and go up here and hit shrink. That will make the evidence something that is much more easy to see what is important. And I'm going to go through and tag the evidence. The tag is a one-sentence summary of the evidence. It can be a couple of sentences if it's a really long piece of evidence. But basically what I'm wanting is one sentence that says what the piece of evidence says and gives a warrant for the claim. So I would type in U.S. economy is improving, recent job data, and private, or let's do consumer spending and private inventory investment prove this is true. Now what I've done here is I've given the claim, the U.S. economy is improving, as well as the warrants. Recent job data, consumer spending, and private inventory investment prove this, and then the evidence itself provides the data for it. Now you'll notice what I did is all of a sudden that turned bright and bold. I hit function F7, which is this piece right here, the tag, and you'll notice as soon as I did that it jumped that sentence over here to the left. U.S. economy is... The nice thing about that is if you have, for example, 100 pieces of evidence, you'll be able to look just over in the left side and figure out the basic tag on each one. The final thing that you'll want to do is put a block header on this. So we say U.S. economy up. We're going to make that the block by hitting F6. And now this is able to be changed over here on the left. So you have all of the pieces of evidence that says the U.S. economy is increasing for lots of different reasons. Ultimately, we've been able to take this through, show you what it's like in just a couple of minutes to find a piece of evidence that says the economy is improving, or you could do the same thing with the economy is not improving, or U.S.-Russia relations are improving or not, or virtually anything else that is debatable. You'll be able to find evidence on both sides. Using this mechanism of verbatim, you'll be able to put the evidence in a format that is both searchable and able to be transferred to people during debate rounds. Ultimately, the goal is that you're able to make this process work more easily for you so that you can focus on the really hard parts, like winning debate rounds. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Bye.